BYD Seal has had its order books opened in China. Here's what we know. After months of waiting, the BYD Seal is finally now available for pre-order in China from the 20th of May 2022. And it's going to be a strong competitor for the Tesla Model 3, at least in China. When it's released here in Australia, it will probably be known as the Atto 4. The BYD Seal is available in China in 4 flavours. The following are the different versions and their prices in China. And I believe these prices quoted are after the subsidy that's available in China has been taken into account, but I could be wrong on that. So first up, there's the standard range rear-wheel drive elite version. It's got a CLTC range of 550 kilometres, which is probably closer to 350 kilometres in the real world. Not too bad. And it starts at RMB 212,800, which is just a smidge under 32,000 US or 45,000 Australian. This same car in the premium version, it's got the same range, but starts at RMB 225,800 or just under 34,000 US, 48,000 Australian. Then we've got the rear-wheel drive long-range version, which has got a range of 700 kilometres, which is closer to 500 kilometres in the real world. And that starts at RMB 262,800 or just under 40,000 US, 56,000 Australian. And the fourth version is an all-wheel drive dual motor performance. Slightly lower range than the 700 kilometres, but it starts at 289,800, which is just over 43,000 US and just over 61,000 Australian. So compared to the Tesla Model 3, these are very favourable figures. If you compare it to the Model 3 Performance, which is selling in China for RMB 367,900, which is almost $80,000 Australian, and in Australia it sells for over $100,000. That's actually equivalent of $19,000 cheaper for the Performance Seal compared to the Performance Model 3. Very respectable pricing. And here's something very, very interesting. BYD also announced that they are using a CTB solution, which stands for cell to body, which allows them to sandwich the structure of the battery and integrate it into the vehicle body, which is very reminiscent of the Tesla structural battery pack that they've just started to use in the Model Ys coming out of Texas. So the Seal is the first BYD vehicle to use this CTB solution. And according to BYD, it allows for 66% increase in volume utilization of the battery pack and a 50% increase in structural safety in frontal crashes and a 100% increase in body torsional stiffness over conventional designs. So with this CTB technology, the battery is both the energy supply and a structural component, which makes it a lot safer in the event of a crash. Also, the Seal is still built on BYD's E-Platform 3.0. So it's an electric powertrain, it's a heat pump, and it's got fast charging technology. So if we look at the dimensions of the BYD Seal, it's got a length of 4,800 millimeters, a width of 1,875 millimeters, and a height of 1,467 millimeters on a wheelbase of 2,875 millimeters. So if we compare that to a Tesla Model 3, it's 106 millimeters longer, 58 millimeters narrower, and 17 millimeters taller, and the wheelbase is virtually identical. So size-wise, it's very similar to the Tesla Model 3. It's also got a good drag coefficient of 0.219, and that's pretty reasonable. Previously, BYD had announced the sizes of the batteries, and they had 61.44 kilowatt hour battery for the SR versions, and the top of the range performance version has got an 82.56 kilowatt hour one. DC fast charging with the standard range, it's 110 kilowatts, bit iffy, and the long range of performance version top out at 150 kilowatts, which is a lot more respectable. Nowadays, I think any car coming out really needs to strive for 150 kilowatts. That's my opinion, but let me know what you think. The motors on the Seal, the standard range has got a 150 kilowatt rear motor, which is 201 horsepower. The long range versions have got a 230 kilowatt rear motor, which is about 308 horsepower. And the performance model has got a total of front and rear motors of 390 kilowatts, which is 523 horsepower. Not bad. And that takes it from 0 to 100, or 62 miles an hour, 3.8 seconds. And that is a very respectable get up and go. The Model 3 Performance, that's got a 3.3 second 0 to 100. So 3.8, very respectable. And that's still going to leave most other cars on the road standing at the traffic lights when you take off. Unfortunately, BYD has not yet announced when it will start shipping the Seal in China. Australian orders I don't expect will start here until about a year's time, with deliveries towards the end of next year. I think we're going to get the Dolphin or Atto 2 coming here first. So the interesting thing is, in China, BYD is expecting to sell 1.5 million vehicles in 2022. And if they can get their supply chain issues improved, they're hoping to reach 2 million new energy vehicles this year. And that's going to put them on a par with Tesla. And that's a very respectable target. And their vehicles are cheaper than Tesla. And they're pretty much on target, because in April, they sold 106,000 or just over new energy vehicles. And in March, over 100,000. So they're now, over the last 2 months, exceeding 100,000 vehicles per month delivered. Not too shabby. And just as a final point, lastly, here in Australia, the orders for the Atto 3, it appears that, according to the Driven, 9 out of 10 of the orders have been for the larger battery. And that's what I've got on order. And as soon as I can get one over here in Perth, I'm going to be taking it out for a quick drive. So I hope you found that interesting. I certainly do. It's a very respectable car, the Seal, or Atto 4, possibly, for here in Australia. So please like and subscribe, and that will help promote the channel, get this information out to a lot more people. The YouTube algorithm is a bit funny. I still don't understand it, but I do know the more likes and subscribes and the comments down below help. Thanks very much.